Hello, lovely people. My name is Michelle, and I recently got a package from a wonderful woman here on YouTube, Dina. Her channel name is Milady Leela, but I had bought some stuff from her, and I showed my boyfriend whenever I got them, and he was excited for me, but it's not the same as showing somebody who, I don't know, actually would get excited about this stuff. And that stuff is journal ephemera. And so, I don't know, I just thought maybe I'd show someone, even if it's someone 3 years from now clicks on this video, just sharing it with someone else. But anyway, I'll show you the first thing that I ended up buying from her. And in her package, she also put in some extra goodies. So I'll show you the goodies first, the extra stuff. So the first thing, I think these were extra. I can't quite remember, but it says copper sequins. I already opened them up, but they're just, excuse the quality of the footage, it's just my phone, but they're just these, like it says, copper sequins. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do with these. I'm thinking I'm also into witchcraft, so I could always I don't know, make a little shaker bag spell or something. But that's the first thing. Just set those over to the side. Let me actually light a candle that's over here, because over this side, the right side, is kind of dark. So let me just do that real quick. Oh, you like my little tin? It used to have a candle in it whenever I bought it at a thrift store. And I burned the candle, cleared out, I don't actually know if that's going to help the light much, cleared out the wax for the most part. And now I just keep my my little matches in there. Okay. That barely helped anyway. So that was the first. I think this was an extra. I can't remember because I ended up putting it in with the folio at some point. So either way, the case, this carrying thing, she didn't give me, but I'm just kind of sticking this stuff in here for now at least. This is a really nice feather that she made. It looks from pages of some book, and she put these beads on the end. If you can see, this one is a nice reddish pink one, little pink butterfly, and it has a circle, a little hoop at the end. So I could hang this on the wall. I could attach it to something. For now, I think I'm probably just going to use it as another bookmark. So there's that. And then I probably shouldn't be showing you everything at once. But there are these little stickers that she gave me. This little butterfly. This. Here. I'll actually use this as a background, if it'll focus. Cute little fairy. Look at that. It's so adorable. And then this tag sticker. I mean, it's a sticker. I guess I could put this on in a journal and then put another sticker on top of it, because it's not it's shiny. You can see it's shiny, so I don't think pen would take too well to it. But either way, it's cute and I like it. So there's those. And this last thing that you already saw, this journal she gave it to me because apparently I accidentally sent her a little too much money whenever I sent her the PayPal for the other two things I'll show you. Well, yeah, the other two things I bought. It's a phone stand that's like right in front of me. Anyway, this adorable little journal. It's nothing special on the inside. It's just some lined paper. But I know exactly what I'm gonna do with this. And my boyfriend's in the other room, so I'm gonna try to be quiet, but he hasn't proposed yet. We've been talking about it, and like I know at some point he will. But when he does, I want to write the first half of this notebook all in here. I want to write about his proposal and like maybe put some pictures and like planning the wedding, which is not going to be a big wedding, we already know. It's going to be like super small. But and then the last half, the latter half, write the wedding and my experience and my feelings, and then maybe some information about if we take a honeymoon, even if it's like an extended weekend, you know? I don't know, I really like that idea. And it fits too, because the color scheme is lighter. Yeah, these aren't roses, but like, I don't know what they are, but they're like pink and red, so the color of like love and passion. I don't know, a little bow, because we'll be tying the knot. I don't know, I really like that idea. So I'm gonna put these back in here because this is just how I've been storing these for now. And now I'll show you the smaller of the two items that I purchased. So these, let's see if I can get in close. Yeah. These are, Miss Dina, she calls them gypsy clips or gypsy beads. Not as like a derogatory term for the Romani people, but just to, you know, specifically gypsy being a term to describe the style, the unique style that they have of taking like specifically scraps of fabric and turning them into something usable, you know, because in history they had to, because they didn't have much, but people have taken inspiration from that. I think, I don't know if like bohemian boho came from like out of that, or if that's something else, but it's like kind of reminiscent of that. But that's what Miss Dina did. She took scraps of fabric like lace, this green velvet, and she made these little roses, kept them together with a safety pin, and used these paper clips so that you can clip them. I'll use this little signature paper that I made as an example, but just like can clip into as like a bookmark a little journal on the top or on the side like that, or clip like a few pages together, you know. And it's like a nice little decorative piece for any grimoires or books of shadows or journals or planners or whatever you want to make, or even just using as bookmarks for books that you're reading. All right, zoom back out. So that was the first thing, and I could have bought one big one of these, but I decided against it. I mean, just because I wanted 4 little ones, and it was either 4 of these for the same price as a big one or vice versa, so I chose the smaller ones. She had some other ones, but they were like bright red and blue, and I don't really care for vibrant colors, so I chose the little rose ones. So this is the main thing that I purchased from her. The one thing that I was like super excited about. So excited, in fact, that I couldn't wait to have a folio like this, because this was a folio, an ephemera bundle folio that she had shown off several times in her live streams. That's where she shows off her stuff to sell. She has a monthly journal workshop live stream on YouTube, and I've caught several of them. I've watched a lot of them as VODs that she's put up, and I don't know, every single time I've seen this, I've wanted it, but I've thought, I don't want to like impulse purchase it. And then I thought, well, somebody already probably has bought it. And then she showed it for this last month, which her next live stream is literally tomorrow. But she showed it in her last month's live stream, and I knew instantly, okay, it's meant to be, I'm gonna buy it. She called this one the Fall Ephemera Bundle, or Floral Fall Bundle, because there was like some other one, but this is the main piece. There's a lot in here, so it's already 11 minutes in, and like this is probably gonna be a 20-minute video, so I guess grab something to drink if you haven't, or like a little snack or something. So this is, well, you can see right here, it's a frame that you, actually, you know what? I have a better idea. There we go. It comes with the frame, it comes with the fabric and the background piece, and it shows you how to cross-stitch this owl. And my boyfriend loves owls, so honestly, probably I'm gonna make this and then give it to him. Or like hang it up somewhere that we both see, like in the living room or something. So that was the first thing. That was like one of the first things that I had pulled out. The first thing that I pulled out was this piece of paper. It was folded like this, so that I guess you would glue or tape this little flap into whatever book or journal it is, and you'd pull it out that way, pull it out this way, you know, so you can journal on here. Again, I am into witchcraft, and I have Book of Shadows that I will eventually add stuff into. I'm a beginner witch, so I haven't added anything into it. And I might show you that at the end of this video, if I feel like it. But I would rather not cover up these sunflowers, even though there are some right here. I want to keep this as it is, so that I can like put some glue or some tape here, so that it can fold back this way and extend out, or just extend out, you know, like this. And honestly, if I do put this in a Book of Shadows, it will be around the probably Lunasa, which is like during the fall. No, Mabon. Mabon is more in the fall. Or I could just do this in like a seasonal journal. I don't know. So that's the second thing. The next thing I want to show you is this piece. This piece, which is freaking, I would never have thought of this. Taking a, I don't know if it's a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll that she cut. I think that's what she did, because this looks a little uneven. And she glued on, it feels like this is from a magazine, and then she filled in the frame. I just wrote love. Like, I don't know, this just, I just really like the way this looks. And I could keep it exactly like this, put it in a binder, not a binder, a journal. Yo, this journal's too small. But put it in a journal and have it be like a side pocket, or I could like glue or tape or staple one of these sides together so that I could put stuff in here and not worry about it falling out. Or I could seal both of these sides up, cut the top open, so it's a pocket that way. I don't know, but I really like this piece. It's just so cute. I'm gonna say that a lot about these. I'll show you this piece next. This, I think, is a lyre. I think. Lyre. But it's just a piece of cardstock. I don't know where she would have gotten this from, but it's empty on the back. I'm probably going to write like some, I don't know, maybe like an affirmation or something music related. Maybe like my favorite lyrics to a song. And this could just be a tuck-in. So this is a little too big, but assuming this was a pocket, I could just tuck this in, be able to take it out, flip it over, read what's on it, tuck it back in here. Or this could be a spell, like in my Book of Shadows, this could be a spell that I write on the back involving music, or a chant, or a charm, or whatever. Next piece, just a simple piece of paper that looks like it was coffee stained. Really simple. I have a ton of these, like full sheets that I've made, but I don't know. I know a lot of people don't make them, so it's really nice to get them in like a bundle. And the cool thing about something like this is I could just journal straight onto here, or write or draw straight onto here. Not that I can draw. Or it could be a background for a picture to give it a border, a frame, without me having to actually color in something. Next are these recipe cards. There are 3 of them. Right? Yeah, there are 3 of them. They're blank on the back, but realistically I'll put a recipe back here as well. I'm going to use these for, I don't really cook that much, and the foods that I do cook, they aren't like actual cooking. It's more like making eggs and bacon, you know, stuff that you don't need a recipe for. But my boyfriend does cook, and there are several recipes, like his brownies that he makes, that like started out from a recipe he found, and then gradually he just added his own elements or changed the measurements a little bit. So I want to put his recipes that I really like on these recipe cards, so that anytime he doesn't want to make something, but I'm really in the mood for that thing, and I am willing to make it, you know, then I'll have a recipe. I'm gonna have to zoom out a little bit for this one, because it is a journal insert. Looks like tea-stained paper. My next video, by the way, will be better lighting. This was just like kind of what I had. And a picture that there we go. A picture that I'm assuming she took, because there's another one of these of a different picture, but it's of this same book, this spiral notebook. I think that this is one of her notebooks, and she just took a picture of it, printed it out, and stuck it on here, which is really cool. You know, I haven't thought about that. I mean, I've printed stuff out, but like not to put on something like this. And like the cool thing about these inserts, is that I can just leave it as is and journal in here, and just like stick it in a notebook. Or I could turn it into its own little notebook, or its own little signature, by adding stuff in here and stapling or sewing, what have you. So there's that. Gonna zoom back in here. Sorry if the constant zooming in and out is bothering you. These are some little pieces that were already in this little envelope that she either made or found. But they are, for the most part, Halloween or Samhain themed. So, for example, there's this little guy that junk journal fashion cut out from packaging. I'm thinking maybe this was like a light, like a little lantern that you plug into the wall or that you hang up and it's like battery powered. So there's that little guy, and that is perfect for Halloween. I'm thinking about doing a journal because Miss Dina has done this. I'm thinking about doing a journal that's for the holidays, but instead of doing what she does, where she'll have like one journal for each holiday, instead I'm thinking about doing one journal, just like a bigger one, and then have all of the holidays in there. So like for the year that I started, for example, have the holiday, if it's like, I don't know, Easter just passed, so the next big one that I celebrate would be Thanksgiving. So Halloween, duh. So doing like a Halloween spread, or like a couple Halloween spreads in there, and then doing Thanksgiving right after, and then doing Christmas right after, and just like throughout the years I can see what I did for each holiday. This is not Halloween themed or Samhain themed, which Samhain is celebrated, supposed to be November 1st, but a lot of which is celebrated on Halloween. But this cute little owl reminds me of my boyfriend a little bit. He likes like really cute things. And as soon as he saw these two, he was like, "Ooh, is that for me? You gonna give that to me?" It's like, "No, I'm not gonna give you that one. I might give him this one though, because this one really does remind me of him." He doesn't wear glasses, but he has this blue blanket that I gave him, and he like always is using it. So there's that little guy. There are these two little cat stickers. They're so cute. And these will definitely, especially this one, these are definitely going to be in my, like a Samhain spread. I'm going to go ahead and set these over here though. Get them out of the way a little bit because give me more room to show you these. So the next three are Halloween cutout or magazine Halloween cutouts. So there's this one, Spellbound. There's nothing interesting on the back. But then there's this one, which, you know, cute little figure, Peter Pumpkin Eater. But then on the back, I don't know if this was accidental or purposeful, almost perfectly cut out this lamp as well. And I definitely know the way that I'm going to use this is by taking clear tape to this side, folding it over and taking clear tape to that side so that it's a fold out. I'm not sure which one I'll have like showing, but it'll be a fold out, so whatever's behind it I can write a little something. So there's that one, and then in the same vein as that picture, this one also is double-sided. And I don't know why I really like I want to keep Prudence and Pumpkin here. Because I don't know, maybe like her name is Prudence and the little cat's name is Pumpkin. But I'm also going to do the same thing with this cutout as I'm going to do with this one. Oh, shoot. I forgot. There's 4 of these. And then this one, Halloween Greetings. Really cute. Nothing special on the back though. So there is this little envelope, and this little envelope, it starts, if I can get this in here, the other side of the folio. Because I showed you the one side, the left side, and now this is the right side. Which I initially had most everything on the right side, but I ended up more evenly distributing it. This one's so, I'm definitely going to color in this and then give it to my boyfriend. But the back you can also journal on. But if I were, this would be one of the things that like would be loosely in the journal, or I would tuck it into a pocket and take it out. Because it's blank on the back, I would be less likely to just glue it or tape it into, like, onto a page. Because, like, there's all this prime real estate back here. Or even just, like, paste pictures. I don't know. I mean, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to give it to my boyfriend, but... And then there's this sticker. It's like a puffy sticker. And honestly, probably going to put this in one of my journals. I have a planner, but I don't decorate it. I don't, like... I tried to do the whole bullet journal. I tried to do, like, the planners that you know, spend a long time on, like, each spread and, like, make it look pretty. You're hard-pressed to get me to plan a day every single day. And if I plan a day, you're hard-pressed to get me to follow through with that. So I kind of gave up on that. That's why I do junk journals. Like, I have a little junk journal that's, like, literally this big, that I could even put this in there, have it take up most of the page, but, you know, make it floral thing. This is a little bookmark. I mean, I'm going to use it as a bookmark that Miss Dina made. Cute little owl. I noticed there were a lot of owl things in this, so I don't know if she, like, was having a field day with owl stuff whenever she put this together, or what, but I mean, I'm not complaining. I really like "With patience wisdom grows," and this is her name. She also, I'm not going to show you, but she also gave me a handwritten letter to go along with this. It was so sweet. Alright, zooming back out. Okay, this, I don't actually know what this material is called, but it's like kind of like wax paper, but not really. But it's a pocket, and she just folded it in half. But see, this is the type of thing that I would put in a grimoire, not a grimoire, but a book of shadows. Like, if I do, let's say, a spell, and in the spell I have flower petals, or like a piece of paper and different herbs and stuff, I would want to put those items in here, use the wax from whatever candle I'm burning to seal this up, and then have this be a spell, basically. Oh, I didn't realize that it was ripped on this side. I'll have to fix that, but have this be a spell that I could stick in my book of shadows, and, you know, if it's like maybe a part of a ritual, have it just be like a floating thing in my book of shadows that I can take out, and I don't know, or have it like glued or taped into the book so I can flip it either that way or down. For now, it'll just stay folded in here though. Alright, more recipe cards, except these, there are a lot more. I think, yeah, they're double-sided, and I have 12 of them total. You see how there are lines on the back of these two? These more than likely are going to be for like magical recipes, whether it be food that I make that I like imbue with a spell, or I don't know, like ritual oils or something like that. I don't make those, but that's why I'm going to keep these, for if I ever need to write down a recipe that I want to remember, and I don't want it to be in like fixed into my book of shadows. I can have a little pocket stick the recipe card in there so I can take it out whenever I need to use it next and like take it into the kitchen and whip up whatever it is. So I was really happy about those. And I prefer the way these look anyway, because it's a lot more simple. And like I said before, I don't like very vibrant, colorful things, which is what these are. I mean, I don't mind it, but it's just not my style. I like more muted tones, pastel tones, and then like if I'm going to have a bunch of color, I want them to be darker colors. Or like, I like earth tones, stuff like that. This is that other folio, or not folio, insert. Same thing, it's blank on the inside. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm actually going to zoom in again, because this is what I was talking about. It's the same spiral notebook, but it's a... Is it a different page? Here, let's compare. Alright, that starts with love. Oh yeah, see, it's a different spread. So I think that she just took pictures of hers, which is cool because she doesn't show all of her journals and all of her planners and stuff. So I really liked everything in this. So I'm gonna put everything back. This is the inside of the folio, by the way. I'm guessing this is just like scrapbooking paper. I don't know, you can see where there was a sticker here and she tried to get off, but this is the folio. And like I said, whenever I bought this, before it had arrived, I want to say like not even the day after I bought it, I want to say the day that I bought it. I was so excited to get it and like to have a folio in particular because the way she uses them, and I gain a lot of inspiration from her, I'm not even gonna lie. The way that she uses folios like this, a lot of the times, from what I can gather, she will put them into whatever journal or book it is that she's making, and she'll stuff it with ephemera that she knows she wants to put in that journal. And I have, like I said, a book of shadows that I'm actually going to show you. It's going to be a long video, sorry about that, but I'm actually going to show you my journal, or my book of shadows. Hold on. Okay, this is it. I made this myself. This is my first ever, and I'll leave like a timestamp in case you don't care about this and like you want to skip ahead to the end, or like you want to just click off here. That's fine if you're not into like magic stuff, if you find it weird or anything. But I don't know, this channel is just gonna be me showing off stuff that I'm excited about, and or talking about things that I talk about a lot to myself, because I talk to myself a lot and that like people around me don't really care much about. So I don't know, this is just gonna be like a little outlet for me. But I made this journal, or this book of shadows. The cover itself is just some faux leather from, I think it's faux leather, it didn't actually have a label on it, that my boyfriend's parents had gotten him. Like, they got him a bunch of rolls of it, and he hasn't been using them, so he was like, oh, you can cut some stuff out if you want to use some of them. So next time I make one of these, I'm going to just punch 2 holes, because I have a whole bookbinding kit and everything. So I'm just going to use the awl to make 2 holes, because I didn't think about it, and I am like just automatically did 3 here, 3 here, and I had to you can see I had to go back into the center hole just for it to look nice and not like have a bunch of zigzags and look all messed up. But I drink some coffee. Got a little thirsty there. And the closure is just a scrap that I cut out. It's temporary because, like I said, I haven't actually started anything in here. So I'll eventually maybe, like, I don't knit, but I could knit something, or I could take a piece of fabric that I really like and, I don't know, use it as a tie for this. And you can already see I tried to make this with a lot of intent. It took me like 3 days to figure out how I wanted to piece together the signatures. It took me like collectively it took me like a day and a half to make the pages. And I left a lot of excess fabric here because I wanted to make sure, and I'll show you an example. I wanted to make sure that as this got filled more, I would still have fabric to close it. So there are not that many signatures in here. There are 3 folios in here right now, but you see how stuffed it is? And you see how much fabric is left over? I could stuff it so full that only like half an inch is of fabric is like over top of this, and I would still have plenty of room in there. So let me take out that folio, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And the signatures, you can see I left about half an inch in between each one to accommodate for me adding in a bunch of like little pockets and floating things and pasting things in here, taping stuff, fold outs, you know. I'll show you these little pieces first. This is just a little card that I had coffee stained with the paper. Probably gonna add it in here, that's why it's in there. And these are just some napkins that I had used to soak up the excess coffee after staining, like after taking all of the pages out. I use these to wipe up like the dregs of coffee that were on the bottom, because I used instant coffee for these pages. So it was like kind of, you know, like gritty and stuff on the bottom. And I figured, I don't know, I might like open these up and glue these in here or something to add some texture to a page or whatnot. So this is the book, and it was really important for me, by the way. I know like you might be thinking, well, if it like fanned out like this, then that'd be fine, right? If it was like super small down here at the base and then fanned out, yeah, that's a look, but that's not a look that I wanted. I wanted it to lay flat, and then whenever I could just put it in a bookshelf, and whenever I open it, it also lay flat and not like be splayed out, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through these because there's nothing special in here. It's just each signature I have like a decorative cover piece, and then this is some of these pages. All of them are coffee stained using the same instant coffee. However, some of them I left longer than others. These are 2 batches I made. The first batch wasn't left as long and it was air dried. The second batch was left overnight soaking in the coffee, and they were oven baked. So a lot of the pages on the top, whenever I baked them in the oven, got super dark. So I used that side of those pages as like the cover pages, and these will be where I like glue a bunch of stuff on here. You know, not a lot of information will be on here, but it'll be like, this will be the title page, for example. And then like this is the other side of that, a lot lighter, but it gives that crinkly sound as opposed to less crinkle. You can tell the difference. This was air dried and this was not. Every signature has some of these pictures. I bought them in like many different packs where they're meant to fold in half and be put in signatures of books. But there's that one, and then each one of these is paired with either a paper doily or, in this case, an envelope. I have one envelope and one paper doily in each of the signatures because I wanted it to be cohesive. So this is the other one. This is the paper doily, another one of these from a different pack. And then there's at least, I think maybe just one colorful paper page in here. Not construction paper, but like just colored paper. I think there's only one in each signature. So like page-wise, it'll come up as 2. But I wanted this to be really cohesive. I didn't want there to be, and you'll see throughout here, I didn't want there to be like a bunch of colors all over the place. Because like I said, I don't care for color much. So like a lot of greenery and scenes like that. And then that's the first signature. This is the first folio that I made. This is just cardstock that I used my, some of my stamps on. And this is some wrapping paper that I bought, like sheets of, for journaling specifically. But this is how I use them. For example, I want to put this leaf in particular in this book somewhere. So instead of it being loosely in here, stuck it in this folio. Same with these 2 envelopes that I made. I want them to be in here somewhere, so tuck that right in there. This is the back. And then this is the second signature. This looks handmade, by the way. I don't know if it was, but it wasn't handmade for me. I was given this. And like I was given some of these stamps. Actually, I don't think this stamp for this border I was given. But I did actually purchase the ink pad and the other stamps myself. So, pages, normal pages, and then paper doily. This was another, really zoom in for this. Look at that illustration. And it's hard to tell. I'm gonna be frank with you. I purchase from Temu sometimes. In my eyes, from the research I've done, it's not that much different than Amazon in like their practices and stuff. I mean, neither is good, but if you don't have access to stuff, then, you know, get what you can where you can within reason. But I really liked this page and I wanted to add it, so I paired it with this light blue paper. And then just some empty pages. I wanted to have a lot of different journaling sections, like, well, not journaling, this is gonna be book shadows, so a lot of spaces for me to write in spells, or like my personal correspondences if they vary from other stuff, because any correspondences like for colors or the days of the week and stuff, that's gonna go in my grimoire, and I already have some stuff written in there, but that's gonna go in my grimoire. This is going to be stuff that's personal to me. So like any of my spirit animals or spirit guides, or like in the future if I end up following any deity. You know, that'll be in here. Information about deity in general won't, unless it's like my personal view of deity, if it's different. These little tags, the tops of the envelopes, I figured what I'll do with them is like glue them or tape them onto other things. Shoot, could even make that into a little pocket. Probably won't, but... And then if it's like a fold out like this, have it be a proper fold out, because that would give me more information. Let's say I get to this page and what I want to put on this page, like over here, I can't fit everything, or I can't fit everything here. So this would be a good space to glue this onto another sheet, or like that, a fold out card, and have extra room to write. So just pages, empty pages. This is the other side of that dragon picture. Beautiful. I love this so much. And these pictures I tried if they have a color background, which I have one other blue, light blue of these, and then a purple one. I tried to match the color of the picture to that page. So, right, there's that signature. And then this is the next one. I only wanted to use 3 of these opaque pages because I think I only have like 3 or 4 left, and I don't know where the person got them that gave it to me. A woman named Miss Lynn gave them to me. She's really nice. Anyway, another one of these pages, different type of envelope. See, another black background. I have a lot more black sheets of this paper than I do the colored pages. This is the purple one, and I know this is off center, but whenever I put this together, I got frustrated because I had to, like, I wanted to initially sew the signatures into the cover itself, but then it started to like make the holes. I started down here, it started to make the holes too big, and I had to like redo it several times. And then I was like, screw it, I'll just sew the signatures together individually. And then through, if you can see, I just took the waxed thread and sewed it through the thread of the signatures. And then, so I had like spent like a couple hours on this total at the time, and like just that day. And I saw that this was like, it wasn't in place, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm not taking all this out again and redoing it, so it'll just be crooked. I don't care. It's my book. I mean, besides you guys, no one's gonna see it. I don't care. So this is another where I tried to pair. You see that purple in there? This was literally the only purple in all of the sheets of these, and I believe you me, I have a lot of these sheets. The only purple in any of them. So I was like, screw it. It's a tiny little bit, but it matches. And that's a big thing that I'm kind of a perfectionist, kind of. So I really wanted the pages to match the colored pictures, or the colored pages to match the pictures. So, and over here, you see, there's a little bit of purple here and here. Comes across more as pink on camera, but there's a little bit there. And there's the other side of that. And on to the other folio that I made at the same time that I made this one. I actually made this one first, and then this taller one. And this one says Create Wonder. You see, there's a lot more in here. Because this is where I stuck all of the envelopes that I didn't make that I was given. And like this is a tracing paper. This is colored cardstock that was like, that's actually actual indentions. Like, I don't know if it was like a machine. It was probably like a machine or something that the person had. Same with this. And just normal. And then like other bigger envelopes. And then cards that I want to put in here. Like a silver one for the goddess. And a silver one for, or a gold one for the god. And then this is like an envelope. That opaque tracing paper type. So, which that will definitely be for a spell. Definitely. But this is the background of the inside of this folio. I used the same exact stamps, same exact wrapping paper, just kind of like put it together a little differently. Same moon pieces on the back. This is the 4th signature. I almost put a piece of black paper behind this, but I wanted to be cohesive, so I just did the same type of dark sheet. Spread that out a little bit more. This picture, you can see I used a lot of these pictures from this set because they're all themed the same. It's nature themed, and then like some writing. Black envelope behind that one. And then another paper doily. This is the first set that I had bought, and originally whenever I bought this set of signature papers, I was going to have like a whole book made of just the coffee stain pages and these. But I realized that was just too much. That was just way too much. So I decided against it, and I went with this style. Like combinations of different pieces. That's the other side of the witchy one. And then other side of that envelope, which honestly, see, again, I want it to be cohesive, so I want there to be some color back behind here. So probably gonna glue something onto this so that it's bigger and a nice background for this, because this picture is also really beautiful, but it just doesn't really fit. Like it's too samey. The colors are too samey. So there needs to be like a nice border, you know? And that's the end of that signature. And then this is the last one. I only wanted 5 signatures because I didn't want to put too much. Like, I didn't want this to be too stuffed already. Another one of these pages from that dragon themed. But, oh. You see the little bit of blue down here? Yeah, that's why I chose this picture. So it would fit the light blue here. But I didn't want this book to be too stuffed already, because this is my first proper Book of Shadows. And whenever I was in high school, I had a Book of Shadows then, but it was more of a grimoire. It was more of just correspondences and less of my personal beliefs, my personal things that I've made. And so I don't really count that as a Book of Shadows. I mean, it was so easy whenever I got way too caught up in witchcraft for all the wrong reasons. I wanted the aesthetic of it. I liked the idea of, you know, showing it off to people, and like the whole picturesque, like dark witchy look, and like it. I had to take a step back. Excuse me. Had to take a little bit of coffee break. I had to take a step back. Reconvene with, you know, why I got into witchcraft and Wicca in the first place, and come back to it later for the right reasons. Well, I did come back to it. I want to say like a year ago, maybe not quite a year ago, I came back to it. Immediately started buying stuff. Immediately, like, wanted to fill out my altar. And, like, I bought a couple of books that I have not read yet. And I was spending, like, so much. I was spending money and time on the aesthetics of it yet again. And so I had to take a step back once more. And now I've come back into it, treating everything like I'm new, because I essentially am. I never really did much spell work. I learned the basics of some stuff, but that's been years ago. So a lot of that information is lost on me, and the information that isn't and is rejogged with my memories, I'm not confident in. So I wanted this to be like my first Book of Shadows. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to have all the information that I want in it, but it's something that I created. Something that I can add to. Something that I can look back on and go through and be like, oh, I remember this. I remember when I did that. I still use this spell. Or, man, I don't believe that anymore. You know? Because I do have one of the things that I bought whenever I got back into this. By the way, that's the second dragon. And it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but there's a little bit of blue in his wing. But whenever I had gotten back into this for the first time, one of the things that I bought was, I don't even remember how much it was, over like at least $100. A pre-made Book of Shadows. That's the end, by the way. But I bought in a pre-made Book of Shadows, and whenever I didn't write anything in it. I started to plan out what I was going to put in there, but I didn't actually write anything in it. Thank goodness, by the way. Thank goodness. And even now, I haven't written anything in it because it's one of those things that I will eventually write in it. Not yet. Eventually, I will. Shoot, no, show you that too. Hold on. This one of these where it's real leather. Someone actually like embossed this thing that I'm pretty sure is a rose quartz, but yeah, it's blank. I started to plan out, but I haven't actually written anything in it because I don't feel confident. And yeah, so that is my video, and sorry it was long, but I'll make another one at some point talking about something. Alright, bye.